Is not talking.
It's a people, it's a community, it's a life, it's a heart, it's a spirit.
The heck would you want a picture of a tattoo of $1,000 on your penis for?
The medications that have now come out really make HIV a manageable disease.
Like I said, in today's market, real estate alone has gone up 15%.
It's a original battle. Well, if I don't get my musket dirty, that's great with me.
The cops were pushing her and egging her on to get her nuts. They were calling her names.
And then I find that the actors and actresses, for the most part, are like sponges. They soak up whatever you get back to them.
And he kept explaining to me that I wasn't gay, that you cannot be gay.
Religion and spirituality are big topics these days. I mean, the bookshelves, the bookstores are full of them.
Incest, not funny. Midgets, not funny. Incestuous midgets.
Good evening and welcome to Talking About. My name is Jon Griffith. I am your host, and tonight we are talking about HIV in youth. HIV is a topic that you frequently see on this program because the people that put together this program are dedicated to AIDS and HIV education. And tonight's focus is on youth, and with me today are three people from the AIDS Center of Queens County. First, the Director of Education, Luis Ortega, and two peer educators, Nerissa Diaz and Ahmad. Mamood. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, just for those who don't know exactly what is ACQC or the AIDS Center of Queens County.
Well, ACQC stands for the AIDS Center of Queens County, as you said, and we're the first agency in Queens that was, that is dedicated solely to providing HIV/AIDS services in the borough. And we've been in existence since 1986, and we currently have 8 sites among Queens, around the different areas in Queens, and we're currently serving about 2,000 clients a month in the different programs that we have.
And can you tell us a little bit about some of the programs that are available?
Sure. We have actually a wide range of services. We have a case management department, and case managers, their primary role is to assess the client's needs, find out what kind of services that they may require, and then refer them to those services. A lot of those services we provide in-house, such as legal services. We have attorneys on staff that are able to work with the clients with a variety of legal issues. We do a lot of stuff with landlord-tenant disputes. We also have a mental health clinic. We have therapists on staff that do individual, group counseling, couples counseling. We have psychiatrists that are able to work with more seriously mentally ill clients. We also have housing programs. We have 2 housing programs, a federal funded program and also a city funded program to help people get housing in Queens. So it's a variety of services.
There's a wide variety of services.
Yeah, and education, which is obviously the department that we're from.
Right, and that's what we're focusing on tonight, and specifically with as far as youth are concerned. What kind of youth programs are available?
Well, there are volunteer programs where I was in one of them. It's a peer educator. That's what I am now. And you go through 6 weeks of training, and then after they train you, you present to a group, and then after that you graduate, and then you get a certificate, and you just go on outreach.
Well, what do you present?
Well, we present, like, they give you topics, and you pick a topic, and then you present it to your classmates, and also sort of like your teacher, and then they evaluate you.
What kind of topics?
HIV overview, HIV transmission, prevention of pregnancy, things in that nature. And there's also another program. It's on Thursday nights from 6 o'clock, I believe, 6 to 9. And it's for teens, all teens. You don't have to be trained or anything, just from 13 to 21. And you come in, from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, it's packet making. And usually from 7 to 8, there is a little lesson, but not always. If there isn't, then we just keep on doing packets. And then from 8 to 9, we do packet making, and once again, it's like safer sex packets with condoms and lubricants and dental dams, things of that nature. And then we give our Metro cards to the people who came, and then we let them go.
Okay. Is youth generally designated as 13 to 21 as far as these programs are concerned?
As far as this program.
That's what we target. There's also another program that we have called the LGBT group. It's for lesbian, gays, bisexual, transsexual, two-spirit, queer, and questioning. We have it on Monday evenings, and if like teenagers between ages of 15 to 21 think that they're in any one of those categories, they can come. They don't need to be trained, they just need to show up.
Okay, and when they show up, what goes on?
They basically talk about how they feel, and they help each other, they support each other. It's like a support group for them. So they just come and...
Just come, share,
yeah,
and work things out. And what kind of things would generally be worked through? I mean, for example,
they might be having problems coming out, or talking to their parents, or coming out to their friends, or having trouble in school, or experience some type of gay bashing. Doesn't really matter. If they feel like they're being hurt because of their nature in any way, they can come and speak about it freely. They don't have to be judged.
Oh, so it's basically just an open forum where anyone in those categories can feel welcome.
Yeah.
It's actually one of our most successful youth programs. We started the program probably about 10, maybe 12 years ago. And at the time, it was the only space in Queens where young people who were questioning their sexuality or were out could go and meet other young people like them. Coming out is a very difficult process, and as an adult, there's not a lot of support. And as a teen, there's less support on top of all the other teen issues that young people normally go through. So it's a safe space for young people to come, meet other young people, talk about the issues that they're dealing with as an adolescent, and then also as possibly a gay adolescent.
Okay, and what are some of the more interesting situations that have come to light? I mean, can you throw out another, for example, just that might hit home with a viewer who happens to be catching it, who might be hesitant to reach out to the program? How can you draw somebody in?
Well, you can go to the website www.acqc.org, or you can go to, we have 3 offices. One is in Regal Park, one is in Jamaica, and one is in Far Rockaway. And I think, I really don't have the number. Do you know the number?
Yeah, the main site is 718-896-2500.
Yeah. Okay, we'll have that up again at the end of the show.
And yeah, I just wanted to add, I think that our youth programs are really geared to deal with a variety of youth issues. So Ahmad talked about the peer education program, which he just finished. And that revolves a lot around doing HIV prevention work. Talking to young people about HIV, how you get it, how you can protect yourself, how to make important life-saving decisions. And people can only make that, young people can only make that if they have all the information.
Right. Is it targeting young people in general, or do you focus on specific areas of the community or different communities?
Basically, what we target is between ages of 15 to 21.
Right.
That's mainly because they're contracting the disease quicker than anybody else.
Young people in general.
Yeah. So what we do is we target areas in Queens, like our specific main offices, Jamaica, Far Rockaway, and Regal Park. We target them, and we move in within and around that community. Sometimes we'll take the train and go to different communities so that we can target any and everybody, whether you're Black, Hispanic, Caucasian, Chinese, doesn't matter, Korean, Asian, doesn't matter. We target any and everybody. If we see between ages of 15 to 21, if we think that you're over the age, to like 22, we still give you the packet. So that's what basically that we do. We just target them.
Were those 3 sites chosen because there's a greater at-risk community in those areas?
Well, I'm not sure.
Yeah, in Jamaica and Far Rockaway, those offices open primarily because of the need in those communities. In Jamaica and in Far Rockaway specifically, you have areas that are very low income. They're largely people of color communities that have a distrust, I guess, where a lot of information is coming from. And so we definitely have our offices there because the need is there. There are high rates of HIV there. They always have been, and they still are. High rates there. So we target the communities, those communities where we see a lot of substance use going on, a lot of crime, violence, and people in those situations normally also engage in risk behaviors. And so we're in those communities specifically because of the demographics of those communities.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go into a little more detail about risk behaviors. And let's start with sexually risky behaviors.
Well, every sexual behavior, well, most sexual behaviors are risky. You know, vaginal intercourse, anal intercourse, fellatio, you know, those types of things are dangerous, especially if you don't use condoms or dental dams. Dental dams are used for going down, as I said, going down on a female, and you can use condoms for vaginal, anal, or oral sex, and those are really the risks you can get.
Okay, and I've had discussions with people, and a lot of people don't know what dental dams are.
Dental dams are it's made out of the same material as condoms.
So usually latex?
Latex, and it's like a rectangle. Usually some of them are flavored or colored, and you just place it over and then do your business.
Okay.
Yeah, the dental dam is just pretty much like a condom, as Ahmad described. It prevents body fluids from being exchanged from one person to another.
And if you don't have a dental dam, you could just rip a non-lubricated condom up and same deal.
Cut it open. That's what most people fail to realize. So when we give them a package, if they're a lesbian or they might perceive to be, they don't want the condoms because they think, well, oh, we don't need them. But the thing is, you just need to slit it open, pull it apart. Works the same way as you would with a dental dam.
Okay, so it's, what other issues that you come across that people don't commonly realize?
Oh, fingering. They don't realize that there's these little finger cuts. They look like little condoms, like miniature little condoms. But the thing about them is that people don't know what they are.
Okay.
The thing is, if you have a cut on your finger, you just
little cut right there.
Yeah, if you have a cut on your finger, and the person that you're with has HIV, if you put your finger in them, there's a mere chance that you could get it because that's like an open wound.
So the finger cuts would just go over the fingers. And you could also use a glove if you had the whole glove.
Yeah. Like the regular latex gloves that they like the surgeons use in a hospital. Regular latex gloves will do.
Just take the glove or cut off one of the fingers. And
Yeah, or if they feel necessary, they use the whole glove.
Yeah. So, okay, more high-risk behaviors beyond sexual.
Sharing needles.
Okay.
Really big, sharing needles.
Is that becoming more prevalent among young people?
I don't know the exact statistics, but I believe it is.
Just from your observations?
Yeah.
I mean, can you give specifics on some of the things that you've observed, or are there privacy issues involved?
Well, I
Without
know
names?
No, I know a couple of people that do shoot up, and sometimes they don't share needles, sometimes they do. Just depends on each situation.
And beyond education, can you steer them to a needle exchange program, or find out where needles are available?
Yeah, there is a needle exchange program where you give your old needle and they give you a new one. Or if I believe you're over 18, you can buy needles from a pharmacy.
But we also get the little packets that teach you how to clean the needles.
Yeah.
If you come to the agency and you ask for the little packet, and they'll just give it to you.
But well, how do you do that?
Inside the little packet, there's Clorox and there is water, and you get there's a little container, and then there's I think cotton.
Mm-hmm.
You put the Clorox in, you shake it up, and you empty it out. You put water in. I think you do the Clorox 3 times, and you do the water 3 times, and then you make sure, just to make sure that it's clear and there's no more Clorox in there.
But even after doing that, there's still a risk.
There's still a risk.
There's still a risk even after that. So it's not not recommended. But
not recommended, but when all else fails,
it's the best thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, we practice a harm reduction approach at the AIDS Center of Queens County, so we would hope that people, first of all, didn't share needles. That's the best thing.
Right.
But if they are using needles for any reason, be it, they're sharing, an insulin needle, a drug needle, steroids, hormones, whatever happens to be, that they don't share. But if they don't have needles and they find them so that they have to share, there are these options like cleaning the needles using bleach and water, like participating in a needle exchange program. Unfortunately, there are no needle exchange programs in Queens right now. So the person would have to travel to Manhattan, Brooklyn, or the Bronx. But something that Ahmad mentioned, I think, is important that I think most people don't know is for a year and a half now, there's been a syringe deregulation in New York State. So it's no longer illegal to carry syringes since January of 2001. So anyone over 18 can go into the pharmacy and buy up to 10 syringes at a time, and they're clean and they're very inexpensive. So that's another option for people living in Queens who are using drugs possibly, who want to protect themselves from HIV in getting clean needles. And we also have that program running out of our agency. So people who are using drugs, who want clean needles, can come to the AIDS Center, Queens County. We have a schedule. They can call for the schedule, and we will provide clean needles for them.
896-2500.
Yep, 896.
Keep repeating that number. So, beyond sexual and drug use, are there any other at-risk, high-risk behaviors that need to be addressed?
That's the thing. People don't realize that it's not only HIV that they have to look out for. There are other STIs that they need to look out for that are just, they don't really live long outside the body, but if you kiss someone, if they have like herpes on, like they have herpes on their lip, you can get it. That's why people really need to find out, you know.
So there are misconceptions.
Yeah,
and that's just one. I mean, what you've been doing this for a year?
Yeah, 1 year.
What are some of the common misconceptions that you've come across beyond that?
People come up to us, and when we ask them, the first thing we ask them is, what are the 5 fluids that transmit the disease? They think that
I could
saliva.
answer. I don't know if I could answer all of that. So let's run through them.
Okay, what are the 5 fluids that transmit the disease?
I'm asking you. I'm the host. I'm asking you the questions.
All right. There is breast milk, vaginal secretion, pre-cum, cum, and
blood.
Blood.
Okay. So I could have gotten them. I just.
Yeah, but people don't know about pre-cum. They think that that pulling out will save them. Pulling out will not save you. Pre-cum carries HIV virus. It's a bodily fluid. So
right.
This one guy once asked us, he told us, oh, I don't need those. I pull out. But the thing is, you can still get pregnant and you can still pass the disease. So it doesn't really matter whether or not you pull out or not. Still strap on. Okay,
so that's the most common. Are there any others that you really come across misconceptions?
Yeah, they asked us saliva. Saliva does not carry the disease. No matter how many gallons that you drink, it's really impossible to drink 500 gallons in like one quick thing. They think that, you know, it's only if you drink.
You've done research on this?
Yeah, we have. They think that it's like if you drink like 500 gallons, it's like this thing going around that if you drink 500 gallons of saliva, that's how you could get it. Nobody can do that in one day.
Yeah.
So that's just it. But that's about it. That's about all the little weird questions that we get. Most people just listen to what we have to say.
And I also think, unfortunately, like we've been talking about HIV for 20 years, and a little over 20 years, and there's still a lot of people in the community that feel that it's someone else's disease, or they still connect it with specific communities. So if they're not gay, they feel they're not at risk. If they're not injecting drugs, they feel they're not at risk. If they're in a monogamous relationship, they feel they're not at risk. So that's one of those things that we continue to encounter after so long and after so many messages going out around behaviors and the body fluids that Nerissa mentioned, that it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what age you are, if you're engaging in one of these behaviors, and if you're accepting someone else's body fluids who may have HIV into your body, you are maybe prone to getting HIV, or you're engaging in behaviors that definitely put you at risk.
Do you think that the medicinal breakthroughs of the last few years have little more people let their guard down?
I do think so. I mean, I think that over the last couple of years, we know that there's been great advances in treatment. The image of someone who had HIV/AIDS has changed. People always felt that if you looked at somebody, you can tell if they had HIV/AIDS, and that really was never the case, and now it's lesser the case. So the treatments, I think, in a lot of ways have been beneficial, but for people who are engaging in risk behaviors, are also seeing HIV as a disease that isn't that scary anymore. We don't have those images anymore like we had in the 80s of what was going on. We don't hear people dying as much as we did once before. So people, I think, are letting their guard down. Some people express to us, well, if I get HIV, I'll just take some medicines. And what they don't understand is that this isn't like taking Tylenol. These are very potent medications.
It's a commitment.
It's a lifelong commitment.
And the side effects
are hard to manage.
Yeah, I know people who have not had anything solid come out of their body for well over a year. And that's the most polite way I know how to put it.
Right, yeah. I mean, the medications aren't a walk in the park. They really aren't. They change your life. But if you need them to save your life, you take them.
Right.
But we know, HIV is a preventable disease. It's about behaviors. So people don't have to get it if they are safe and they have the information.
Right, but because people are more lax, it makes outreach all that much more necessary. And, going back to outreach, what made you interested in becoming peer educators? We'll start.
Well, this may sound cliche, but I just want to help my community and my peers, and just because before I started this, I didn't know too much. I knew maybe what the average person knew, but now I know a lot, and it's really scary what I didn't know, and now I can protect myself. And since I have this knowledge, I can pass it on to anyone that I know and that I encounter. And it feels good when you talk to someone and they pay attention to you, and you give them the condom, and then they say, "Oh, thank you," and you just might save a life.
And what drew you into AIDS Center in Queens County?
I actually found it online at volunteermatch.com.
Okay.
And that's how I found it.
Okay. And yourself?
When you start listening, when you start reading the statistics, then you get shocked into what really is out there. Because, quite frankly, before we started going there, we didn't know that you could get free HIV testing, or that there was anything like offered for it. So really what shocked me into it was that, I just got shook up a little bit. So
that there's so much available out there that people don't know about.
Not only that, but how far this disease got. It's no longer just like a regular disease. It's more like like an epidemic that's just spreading everywhere. So that's what made me really come to it.
So, and what drew you into ACQC?
Oh, my friend turned me onto the program because I never knew that they really had that. So one day I went over there with her, and she asked me to come with her. So I went over there with her, and I decided, you know what, let me just join.
And went through the process, and
yeah,
here you are, a star. How can people get involved?
There's a variety of ways. I mean, we're always looking for volunteers to help out in all of the departments. As I said before, we're working with a lot of clients, and there's a lot of work to be done. And volunteers like, Ahmad and Nerissa are, they're invaluable. They're jewels in our agency. They really are. So people can call the agency. They can speak to me, or they can speak to our volunteer coordinator. And they can come in, have an interview, and we'll try to match them up with their interests. A lot of people are interested in going back out in their community, and we'll train them to become volunteer peer educators, and then they'll work with the program indefinitely as long as they want to.
How long is the training program?
The training program varies. The youth program is 6 weeks. The training for the adults is 7 weeks.
6 weeks once a week, or 6 weeks a couple times a week?
It's normally twice a week for 6 weeks, and for the adults it's twice a week for 7 weeks. And we actually have a training cycle coming up soon, so if people are interested, they could actually call, and we'll get them started right away.
Well, how do they begin back-to-back consecutively every 6 or 7 weeks, or is it by quarter?
It's by quarter. Yeah, it's normally by quarter. So we provide 4 trainings per year, and they alternate between evening and day trainings to accommodate people who may not be able to do it during the day, and as well as accommodate people who aren't able to do it in the evening. So it varies.
And what do the quarters run? Because this will be rerun and just to get this message out.
Yeah, the trainings, the adult trainings normally run in August, November, February, and May. Those are the 4 that we normally start. In the youth program, we normally have 3 trainings a year. We do one in the summertime, one just as school is beginning, so the end of September, beginning of October, and then one normally during the winter recess when the young people are out of school and they have more time. Yeah, so that's when those take place.
Okay. Through being a peer educator, when all is said and done, what do you hope to accomplish?
Saving lives.
Saving lives. Just plain and simple.
Plain and simple, because I saved my own, and I just feel like I'm obligated to. It's like this information, and your job is to spread it. why keep it inside? You know, when you can spread. This is really the cure for AIDS. I consider this a cure for AIDS. Information, education.
Okay. And yourself?
Basically, just to let the message be heard, because there's a lot of people that, well, teenagers that think it's a joke, but it's not really a joke, because if they realize what really goes on in your life when you have HIV, then they'll be snapped into something. But it's not like you could give them like shock therapy, because they don't really pay attention, but when they realize it's gonna hit them. So quite frankly, my mission is just to get that message out.
Okay, and well,
and me too. I mean, there's a lot of work obviously to be done, and you know, we have people out there talking to people who are negative, giving them information to keep them negative, showing people who are positive how to keep their partners negative, but also for people who are positive or who may become positive in the future, for them to know that their life isn't over. We're in a different stage in this epidemic, and there is help. ACQC is there. There's medical advances. There's support, a lot of support, and that they can come to the agency and really get connected and know that they're not alone, and that they can get all the help that they need. Everything, again, from getting entitlements that they are able to get because of their status, to getting connected to a good doctor, or even housing.
Entitlements from the state? Or
from the city. Yeah, New York City has a program called the HIV/AIDS Service Administration, and it's enhanced public assistance for people who have HIV and AIDS. And you know, it's cash benefits as well as Medicaid, so that they can take care of their medical needs and also get, you know, be able to pay and survive, as we're all trying to do. So those programs are available in New York City, not in the whole state right now, but in New York City.
Okay. To the person who's hesitant to come down and reach back, what do you say to them?
You can email ACQC at acqcyouth@hotmail.com, acqcyouth@hotmail.com. You can email them, say whatever you want, or if you're going to come in and you want to get tested for HIV, they don't have to tell your parents. Your parents will not know, and it's free.
Okay. One message that you would put to somebody who's hesitant to come on in?
We get paid for this. We get paid for this. If you want to get paid for this, come and get paid. But if you feel that you want to help us, come and help us, because right now we need all the help that we can get.
And that number again is 896-2500. And I thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
And we are just about out of time, and we will see you again next time. Take care. Bye.